Okay, so we're just checking out your project here for assignment 9. You said you're having a little trouble with mental ray not showing up, and that's a fairly common problem that does happen sometimes. What you can do if you don't see mental ray in your render settings here as a possible drop down, which in fact I don't right now. So as you can see, it is pretty common. You can actually import mental ray in to your scene here, okay? So I don't know if that's really the correct term to say import it into your scene, but you know, in other words, we can bring it in and be able to use it as a renderer. So the way you're going to do that is actually you're going to come to Window, alright, and Settings/Preferences. And there's this thing at the bottom called Plugin Manager. Alright, and so Mental Ray is one of our plugins, okay? So what comes up here is this box with all these, crazy things in it that you can load or auto-load into Maya, and a lot of them are unchecked, and that's fine. If you look actually way down at the bottom here, there's one that says Maya to MR.bundle, and MR stands for Mental Ray. Just make sure that you go ahead and check loaded and auto load on that. Okay, just check both of those guys. And then you can just hit refresh and go ahead and close it. And then just come back up to your render settings here, and you should now see this option for Mental Ray, which you can now use. Now, Mental Ray has a whole bunch of different features from your regular Maya software. Some of them are similar, like you still have motion blur, but it works a little differently. You've still got ray tracing in here. But when you render out your scene in Mental Ray, it will usually look quite different than what it looks like with your regular Maya settings, okay, your Maya software. So, as you can see, this is extremely different with all these awesome pink and blue glowy guys. Then, for example, if I switch this back to Maya software and we render that, we get kind of this like little blocky bit kind of thing going on, and that's the reason for that is because these materials are pretty complex, and they'll actually show up differently depending on what kind of renderer you are using. They could be totally different. So the one thing that is of note, though, in your scene as far as grading goes, is that you have a second camera that you have created in the scene here. However, it is not set as the renderable camera right now. So if you come in to your render settings here, okay, in the common tab, whether you're using Mental Ray or Maya software, either way, down here towards the bottom is an area called renderable cameras. Oh my goodness. And right now you have it set to perspective camera, which is your default camera that you use to move around your scene with, okay? So you want to make sure that this is set to the camera that you want to render from. So looks like you have 2 extra cameras to choose from here. So I'm assuming you probably want this one. Okay, camera shape 2, camera 2. Alright, so you can just use your drop down list to select camera 2. Alright, and now when you render out your scene, okay, and it doesn't always work this way necessarily for your render view button here, but when you render out your scene, your entire animation as a batch of rendered stills, it will now render from camera 2 for you automatically. Okay, so you just want to make sure that you change that, because that is in the assignment requirements, that you change your renderable camera to the one you've created in your scene. Other than that, everything looks fine, so good job, and let me know if you have any questions about anything, and happy modeling.